So I have accumulated a small collection of 7 different varieties of Nepenthes pitcher plants. So I'm going to show you what I have, starting with the lesser, more commonly available ones to the more difficult ones to find or more expensive. So to start, I'm going to show you one plant that does need some repotting and some work to it. And this is a very commonly available Nepenthes. I was told it was a ventrata, which is a cross between a Nepenthes ventricosa and a Nepenthes alata. And I do need to trim these dead pitchers, repot it. It's starting to get long and hang down, but it does have one pitcher to show you. So right over here, if I can find it, you can see the pitcher. Ain't she a beaut? So this is the first plant. So then let me show you another plant. This one's a really nice one. This is a Nepenthes St. Gaya, and it's a hybrid between 3 different varieties of pitcher plants, and it's commonly available as well, and it produces a lot of nice pitchers. They seem to last longer than the Ventrata, and with all the spotting and speckling on them, they're quite flamboyant, hence the name, Nepenthes St. Gaya. And it's just a really nice plant with multiple growing points. So then next is one plant that I still have to pot. I bought this a couple of months ago and I haven't potted it yet, but I've kept it alive, just barely. And someone told me, the person who sold me, I asked them what kind this is. It had darker leaves. They told me it's a red alata and, sorry, a red ventricosa, but once it starts growing better pitchers, I need to plant this. We'll see what it actually looks like as far as the pitchers go. So now we get to the ones that are definite pure varieties and not hybrids. I don't like referring to them as species because typically one would classify a species as having a reproductive barrier. Yet so many plants are classified as species, yet they can interbreed, which tells me they're more like a pure breed of that kind per se. So I don't like referring to these as their own species, if that makes any sense. So this here is a Nepenthes sanguinea, and they have these nice pitchers, and you notice how the top, the operculum, is a little more flattened of the hood, or more like oval. So anyway, it has a lighter color picture versus the redder ones. But speaking of the redder ones, we have here a Nepenthes ampullaria. So it's kind of nice because the pictures are a little squatty type. And let's show it against the contrasting background. And it has some nice striations right along the lip. And then we get to the Nepenthes bicalcarata, if I said it right. This one is an interesting one, and I just noticed something I'll point out. So I recently purchased this, and it came with nice moss growing in the media, and I kept that there. But I'll actually show you on this one here first. When you look at the picture, it has these fangs, and if you want to name your plants, I named this one Fang. So you have these little fangs, so if something tries to crawl in there, it's not going to be able to back out very easily. But one interesting thing is, if you look at this one here, you can see some water droplets, and let me zoom in on it. You can see it glistening, but if I zoom in, that are accumulating on this, and I've never observed that before, but this is a recent purchase. So it's kind of interesting. So that could be a way to lure something wanting to get a drink, but they accumulate on there. And you know, a lot of plants will accumulate water droplets at their leaf tips, sometimes in the morning. I have that happen sometimes with my pothos plants. And there's a special name for that, which is not off the top of my head at the moment, or on the top of my head. And then finally we get to la crème de la crème. this tiny thing. So this is a Nepenthes lowii, and as you can see, it's only as big as a quarter. And these are quite expensive that you can even like as a small specimen, that's the only affordable way. Any bigger and will start ranging in the $400 range because they're not that easy to find online. You can find them, but they're not just so readily available that anytime you look, you'll find it. And one thing about it is you can look at the tiny picture right here. Well, that one's forming, but it doesn't have any good bona fide pictures because it grows so slowly, and the ones I have are already dead. But these would be the lower pictures. They look normal. As this plant gets bigger and starts producing the upper pitchers, I'm anticipating it will take a couple years. These pitchers will start looking like toilets and are used by shrews in Borneo as toilets. So anyway, these are the plants that I have, the tropical pitcher plants in my collection. So if you want to take a look at them all together, let me move them in frame. And I have a couple more. And we'll put this one here and move this bad boy there. Move that over. And these are the pitcher plants in my collection. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and happy planting.